Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the channel. My name is Shannon Rivkin. The date is the 10th of August 2022. This week's video will discuss Oz Minerals, and after BHP's move on Oz Minerals, how is this battle going to play out? So just a little bit of chart, not that it's that relevant in both BHP and Oz Minerals. BHP undoubtedly over recent years been moving its portfolio out of oil and gas and coal and more towards its copper, nickel, iron ore and potash, and nickel and copper really within its portfolio arguably underweight, and given where it sees the global economy going, not surprising to see them make a move on undoubtedly the biggest pure play copper and nickel player, and the copper player in Australia and Oz Minerals. I should say, timing-wise as well, you've seen, onto the next chart here, we've seen recent sell-offs in both copper and nickel, based on fears of global recession. On the left side, we've got nickel, which after the war in Ukraine saw pretty massive spikes, start to come back a little bit, but still at elevated levels. And copper, however, more a bellwether for global activity, economic activity, has started to trade down pretty far from its recent highs actually, and there's no doubt that the short-term spot copper price, I think, in no way represents where the expectation is that the copper price is going to be over the long term. Important to note that, and I've made this clear on this channel, the view I have on the outlook for demand for electric vehicles over time, nickel, big component in lithium-ion batteries, and copper, which I think has 4 or 5 times the amount of copper in an electric vehicle than an internal combustion engine vehicle. So clearly, if that theory plays out, you're going to see demand remain very bright for copper, and there's no doubt that copper has a very big role in the electrification of the global economy. And for BHP as well, it's really worth pointing out that not only is this a nice exposure to commodities that they want to increase their portfolios allocations towards, but the actual strategic fit for BHP makes such logical sense. Oz has always seemed a logical fit for BHP, which owns Olympic Dam in South Australia, arguably a subscale asset for them, one that they've been always trying to maximize and being able to make BHP worthy, being able to fit two projects within the same region in Prominent Hill and Carrapateena would make such sense that obviously be able to share infrastructure and effectively make it a copper province like we see with iron ore in the Pilbara. So strategically, there's no doubt it makes sense for BHP. The question, of course, will be price. Given the sell-off lately in copper and Oz, an offer price of $25 is opportunistically timed, undoubtedly. It's worth noting that that Oz has traded above $25 5 out of the last 12 months. So I think the offer, while if you read BHP's statement saying that they're disappointed that the board of Oz has ignored what is a really attractive offer, I think is pretty cynical in my view. The offer is definitely well below where it needs to be, but I think we're now going to see a little bit of a war here versus BHP's capital discipline, in which they are famous for, versus the strategic value for them in buying Oz and getting exposure to its assets that fits so nicely with its troubled Olympic Dam. So my gut feeling is that BHP's got a lot more up their sleeves to get this deal done. You might possibly even see competing interests for this one. Rio Tinto, of course, primarily an iron ore producer, but with a big copper exposure in Mongolia, but might also want to increase their copper exposure over time, and and possibly could make this work also. So, don't think it's just going to be BHP here, but there's no doubt BHP's balance sheet can afford a lot more than this. So, I think if you're buying today, even above that $25 level, you will likely see a higher price. And this, of course, could be, the beginning of an M&A boom. Given we have seen commodity prices come up so much, but the outlook for so many remain bright. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the video, please click like and subscribe, and I will be back next week.